Show. This is the Big O 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 Show.
The Memorial Day event starts now at Florida's #1 volume Subaru store, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy a new Subaru today with financing as low as 0% APR, or lease a new Outback for only $278 a month. Shop SPPLove.com.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink, be the maestro of your own home.
Come on in to Toyota of Hollywood, where curiosity and extraordinary deals await you. Your golden ticket buys a 2025 Corolla, not $26,000, $17,988. And we've got sweet deals with 0% financing for 72 months, 0 down. Enter our world of wonder, and we'll show you why we're the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome aboard on a beautiful Friday, May 22nd, 2026. Hope you're doing well out there. Give me a thumbs up to make sure we got audio all good in the hood. Everything well, everything perfect. Appreciate you all out there, as always, tuning in. Whenever you tune in, and thank you all out there. Little football Friday for us, even if it's the off season, but we've got David and Manny with us today. So it's a little football Friday, and we'll have some fun with the boys. Had a busy day yesterday. Saw Mandalorian and Grogu, and also saw another movie called I Love Boosters. So we'll get to that. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate you all out there, as always. Don't forget, you can also make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can send in your questions or comments. We got the super chats, but we always encourage that because we get 100% of the donation compared to YouTube taking 30% of the chunk, which is ridiculous. Like they don't have enough money. Anyway. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'll give you a couple of movie reviews. One will be really short. We got some sports this weekend, obviously, with the NBA Finals going on. Or the NBA, well, it is the NBA Finals on the Western Conference. It's like the consolation game, really, on the Eastern Conference. Knicks took control yesterday, winning again 2-0. Donovan Mitchell showed up, but everybody else didn't. Josh Hart showed up along with the rest of the Knicks, and Brunson is amazing, man. He really is. They're the best team to come out of the East. They've got no shot at beating, doesn't matter if it's OKC or San Antonio. Nobody's going to beat OKC or San Antonio. That just is kind of the way it goes. But at least the good thing is that the best team out of the Eastern Conference is going to get there. That's the good thing, okay? Whether you're a Knicks fan or not, I don't really care. And if you're a Knicks fan, good for you, man, because, God, you've needed this for a while. That's for damn sure. So they take care of business yesterday, 109-93. Tomorrow will be game 3. Obviously, if the Cavs are going to win this series, they've got to win both games in Cleveland. We'll find out. We'll find out if they've got the cojones to get it done. Listen, the Cavs, in a way, have kind of already achieved their max. Let's be honest. Getting to this point for the Cavs, it's like watching the Lakers get to where they got the Lakers have nothing to be embarrassed about. If you're a Lakers fan, obviously you want to win titles because you've got 4,000 of them. So that's the standard in LA. But anybody with the brain knows that team was never going to win a title, and especially with San Antonio and OKC. Unless there's injuries to, ravaged injuries to San Antonio and OKC, then that could open it up for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But overall, you've got to be really, really happy. Either way, if you're a Cavs fan, you might be disappointed you lose this series, but deep down inside, you maxed out. I mean, the Knicks maxed out, the Cavs maxed out. The Knicks are going to max out by getting to the finals. That's maxing out for them. I don't expect them to beat San Antonio or OKC. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you also have to be realistic about your team. You know what And I know it's hard sometimes, but that's kind of the way it goes. We got Thunder and Spurs tonight. See what happens. And with that one is a split at a game apiece. Thunder is going to have to win one of these games too now. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. We'll find out tonight and Sunday what happens there. And Sunday, Inter Miami will take the pitch. They will host Philadelphia. That should be fun for some of us at least. And then the sad news yesterday was Kurt Busch. I'm like a casual NASCAR fan. I don't really follow F1. That one doesn't really attract me. And obviously everybody knows that Kyle Busch, even if you're not a NASCAR fan or whatever, you know how dominant of a racer that guy was. But the way he passed away, where he was in a simulator and he needed some help, and in a race he needed an injection, and then like you see a post like hours before his death where they say, no, Kyle will, is in for some treatment and he won't be able to participate in anything this weekend. And then he dies. And you know how we say always on the show, every day you wake up, it's a blessing. Amen, man. He's 41 years old. We don't know yet, obviously, and our thoughts and prayers are with the Busch family and his wife and kids who are now, widowed, and just a brutal situation. Obviously, nobody wants to leave their family like that. And wow, I'm sure medically they'll eventually tell us what happened and all that. That's their business, and they can do it whenever they feel right to talk about it, if they ever feel right to talk about it, because this is like, my Lord. You lost a father and a husband, man, more than anything else. Forget the race car driver. If we pass away when we're 75, 85, 95 or something, hey, we got a pretty good life in. But at 41, every day I think about my dad, and he passed away at 51. And I say, wow, it's like you still had a lot of life to live. I will be 60 in October. Like I thought about yesterday when I saw the news of Kurt Busch. It's like you always look at your own, your own what's that fragility, and it's like, damn, dude, I passed 41 18 years ago. Just every day is a blessing. Every day that you get to open your eyes, just enjoy it, man. Seriously, because wow, this is the wackiest of stories. This isn't like we saw him get some kind of disease or something, then deteriorate over time, and then because that it was going to take a toll on you or whatever. No, this was like night and day. This happened within just days, it just weird hours, and just it's really, really odd. Obviously, he was having some kind of medical condition, from the race to the simulator to anything else, and who knows, sometimes we all like power through, when we think it's just something, because he thought it was something that had to do with congestion and stuff. And then the G forces and everything was kind of like taking a toll on it. So he needed a shot. And you just never know, because all of our DNAs are different. And it's just really weird. You know what I'm saying? And sad, tragic, because you hear about the wife and the kids. And that's the part that, the racing stuff is just secondary to all of that. But wow, it's a sad story with Kyle Busch, man. Thoughts and prayers to his family, and just a tragic, tragic story, man. Shame. All right. Don't forget, folks, please smash the like button. What do we got here? Lenny Pena, the amazing Lenny Pena. Yes, happy Memorial Day. Yes, definitely. Enjoy the long weekend. What else do we have? It's going to be a scorcher, says Kosa. Yeah, well, that's kind of the way it's going to be nowadays. We're going to have a lot of extreme weathers. Dolphin Dave is in the house. Jeff in Long Island. The Horn Dog is in. He hates the effing Knicks. Jaybird is in. Let's see. Looking forward to seeing Inter Miami, how they treat their supporters on Sunday. Knicks looked strong last night. Yeah, Knicks are the better team, man. NorCal is in the house. Worldwide Doll Fan Club now taking payments for Fin Club Weekend 2026. Fins versus Lions. There you go. I like it. Hopefully I'm in town and I can go and all that. I know. What conflict did I have last year that I couldn't go? I had some kind of conflict. I hated it. But I had a conflict that I couldn't go and hang out with you guys. Jaybird, I see there. Let's see. Brian Landis. Thank you, sir. Miles Deep. Good morning to you. Thank you, my friend. He says, game 2 for the Vegas Knights. Let's go. Yeah, man. They took the 1-0 lead on the Avalanche. That's huge. The thing is, with Oki, you can kiss home ice goodbye. Home ice doesn't mean in hockey. It just doesn't. It means in basketball. It means in baseball. It means in football. I'm sure it means in soccer. But in hockey, home ice doesn't mean anything, man. But in this case, it's not just home ice. Dude, you beat the Avalanche. That's enormous. So we'll see what happens from here on out. But I'm sure the Avalanche got the wake-up call. And they're going to come out firing because they've been the best team the entire year. I really believe, maybe it's our arrogance, but I really believe our Panthers were the only team that really could take down the Avalanche. So we'll see if that's the case. We shall find out if Vegas has the goods to get it done. Would love to go to a game in Vegas. I got to go to that one day and experience that thing. That would be cool. By the way, visit our friends. Also, Caneswear Big O 10. Use our code. You will get 10% off online or in person. And by the way, online, if you order over $99, you'll get free shipping. Anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. They got Dolphins gear, Marlins gear, Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear, Heat gear, all kinds of stuff. Check it out there and tell them that Big O sent you, man. They will take care of you, man. They're really good people. Jeff, all these guys, man. Brett, Jack, just amazing people out there, man. They really do great work out there. Really great work. Our friends at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the 18th anniversary sale is going on right now. And the 2026 Integra, $239 a month. They will waive your first payment up to $450. The RDX, my wife drives it every day, $399 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The MDX 2026 model, $499 a month. They will waive your first payment up to $1,000. So make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you, man. Good people there at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. J5167 says, I'm here, Big O, a.k.a. the blind ass fan. Awesome, man. Awesome. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you out there. The markets are smoking once again. And let's see. We have got the Dow is up 271 points. It was actually higher just a little bit ago when it first opened. It was like 300 and something points. But now it's at 282 right now as it adjusted. The S&P is up almost 28 points. And the NASDAQ is up about a point. Just barely right there. Right there. Bitcoin, we are at 76,838. Barely down. Just barely. Pretty much kind of where we've been the last couple of days. Hasn't really moved much, to be quite honest. Anyway, there we go. So we got all of that going on. David Furones will join us in a few minutes. We'll have some fun with him. We'll talk with Manny Navarro. Good news in Canes land also. Just kind of continues rolling in the good news with the Miami Hurricanes, which is actually really, really cool. Let's do this. Let me give you a movie review. Let's start off with Mandalorian and Grogu. For those of you that are hardcore Star Wars fans, like yours truly, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it overall because it just kind of extends the story. Is the movie better than some of the episodes you've seen from The Mandalorian? No, it's not actually. It's a good movie. It's got a solid plot. The effects are terrific. But I would not call it a great movie. You know, when you go to the movies and you go see Star Wars or you go see some of those kind of movies, you walk away and you say it's a great movie, right? This was I cannot call this a great movie. I could call this a good extension of the show. Solid storyline and plot, but I am, and I'll put it this way: if you're a non-Star Wars fan and you've never watched anything or whatever, and you're just for the life of you, you've always been under a rock, and you just went in to go check it out, this is not going to make you become a hardcore Star Wars fan. That's how I'm going to put it. And if you've got to pay a lot of money to go see this, which you do, I would tell you don't. I would tell you wait for it on a platform. I would tell you, no, it's not worth paying $20-25 to see it on IMAX and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you're a hardcore Star Wars freak, yes, it's worth it for you. Because we just gobble up everything that's Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? But I in my right mind, knowing that you have to spend hard-earned money, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that a movie's great when it's not, just because I'm a Star Wars geek. You know what I'm saying? Just because I have a Millennium Falcon, a TIE fighter, 2 X-Wing fighters, Darth Vader's hat, a stormtrooper hat, you know, a Mandalorian back there. I mean, I can't do that. You know, the guy that, just got a toy from Burger King and I'm putting it here. You know what I'm saying? I can't think like that. I have to, separate. Okay. All right. I have to compartmentalize. And when I compartmentalize and I take my Star Wars fandom away, I will say, good movie, but not a great movie. Just being honest. Okay. People work hard for their money, man. And if you're going to shell out $40 for you and that special someone to go see it, or $50, Eric Stampone, after we spoke on Wednesday, that I told him it was debuting on Thursday, he went and bought tickets. It cost him $50 for 2 tickets. Okay. That's kind of anybody that saw it yesterday. You can, I'm not going to give away any spoilers because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I'm just going to give you the generalization of what I thought of it. And that is my review of Mandalorian and Grogu. By the way, just as a side note, I would like to see Gina Carano make her way back to The Mandalorian. I enjoyed her role in The Mandalorian. I thought it was a cool role. You know what I'm saying? Ray Grullon says, howdy, I agree 100%. Next year's Starfighter is more in tune with the Star Wars genre, but it's a popcorn movie. Yeah. I mean, and he's a Star Wars geek. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. Good movie, but I'm not going to go out and tell you, oh my God, this is like watching Star Wars all over again. This is like watching Empire Strikes Back. No, dude, I can't say that. I'm not going to say that. You know what I mean? I've walked away from Star Wars movies where I'm just like, wow, I cannot say that. I cannot say that. If there's a couple of, I can pick out a stretch of a couple of episodes of The Mandalorian of the TV show that I would take over the movie. Now it's a good extension of the movie. It does a great job of showing the bond between Mandalorian and Grogu. Also very important. In fact, there's a stretch of that part where they're bonding that it reminds me a lot of Yoda teaching Skywalker when they're out in the swamp and he's teaching him about the Force. And it's kind of a lull in the movie because there's a lot of patience and education and frustration going on. And there's a part in this movie that kind of reminded me of that. It's completely different, but in its own way, it's kind of a lull in the movie where it's kind of showing more of a bond. You know what I mean? And that's same thing in Return of the Jedi, where Yoda's teaching Skywalker in the swamp and he's frustrated and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of a slower part in the movie. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of storytelling and kind of more about relationship too in the movie. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. Okay. But I'm just saying, if you think you're going to walk out of there and, no, you're not going to walk out of there like, wow, this is one of the greatest Star Wars movies I've ever seen. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. So there you go. That would be it. Not expensive at all or the Aces, but I looked up the Raiders and Dolphins ticket prices are crazy. Wow. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Because with Mendoza, there's got to be a buzz. And it's and it's Vegas now. When you're in Oakland, you're not a destination situation. Although you can stay in the Bay Area, you can stay in San Francisco, although that's not as sexy either anymore. But Vegas is a place everybody wants to go. So every visiting fan base, Vegas is a destination city now. They're going to have one of the top visiting fan bases in all of the NFL. That's why it was genius to move to Vegas, because every fan base will want to take a vacation to Vegas to kind of get away from their city and do something a little different. I'm leaving in a few minutes to see The Mandalorian with my son. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Thank you, Pat. Enjoy yourself. You'll enjoy it as a hardcore Star Wars fan. You will enjoy it. Brian Landis says, one Star Wars flick that had me and my friends buzzing on opening night was Revenge of the Sith. Right. Yes. You will not walk away the same way. You just won't. When this guy kills Han Solo, his dad, and all that, and it's just there are different Star Wars episodes that you walk away and you're like, yeah. It's just, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. That's what I would say. I just got to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, my God, this is one of the greatest Star Wars flicks that have been out. No, I can't say that. I can't. That'd be misleading. At least that's the way I look at it overall. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins with the one and only David Furones in our Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
How you doing, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Got an early workout in before the show this Friday, ready for the weekend after this. So life is good.
Life is good. I hear that you think Carlos Washington is the lead dog to become the starting running back for the Miami Dolphins and unseat Devon Achane. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why you pick up a guy like Carlos Washington after you sign Devon Achane to a big-time 4-year contract extension with $32 million guaranteed, is to go ahead and take the reins of the running back room.
By the way, you nailed it. When we spoke on Wednesday, I thought maybe they're waiting till June 1st for the cash, and you go, no, I think they still have the cash. So they must have been crossing T's and dotting I's or something why this thing got delayed a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always just like little minutia in different contracts before you put pen to paper. But clearly they had agreed to the terms, the main portion of it, of the 4 years, the 64 to 68 million, and then the 32 guaranteed. So I guess once that was in place, and you could say, hey, we're locked in, we're going to do this. And then there was just, all this, the little contractual, the fine print in the contract, different things that come into play before you want to officially sign.
Explain to people that they don't have to tell you anything about injuries at this point. So explain that rule to folks out there, just in case, because we're assuming Austin Jackson, we're assuming with Devon Achane. Well, I mean, they kind of gave it away themselves, but overall, the rule right now when it comes to injuries.
Yeah, offseason, there is no injury report. There is no requirement to even speak on it for the head coach when he does his OTA interviews or any of the players. They don't have to. So that's not league mandated. So, I mean, it's really just on them if they are willing to reveal in an interview setting. Oftentimes when a player isn't participating, like Devon Achane wasn't the first week, and he was just out there, participated in team stretch, did some workouts on the side while the rest of the team was along with other players who are rehabbing different offseason injuries like they do on the side. But he wasn't made available for this OTA interview. It's not an open locker room either, where you can't just go up to players and ask them whatever. So those are just offseason rules. So it's the difference in the regular season. I think a lot of it really for the league comes down to the gambling aspect. So they want the books to have clarity on who's available, what different players' status is going into the game. So that's why you get your Friday questionable, doubtful, out already, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're getting these updates on whether someone was limited, was a non-participant in practice. So I think a lot of that just has to do one, so that there's clarity on both from team to team, so that they know who's available on the opponent and who's not. And then, there's an honesty aspect to it. If you get caught kind of fudging your injury report, you could get in trouble with the league. And then, obviously there's the gambling aspect, which plays a role in it as well, with how much is going on there.
Wouldn't be surprised. You guys get access one day next week, right? What day is it?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wouldn't be surprised if Achan's just hanging out, practicing a little, even with the red jersey, just for the hell, even though there's no contact anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? But I just wouldn't be surprised if he's on the field, even doing light workouts next week.
Yeah, I mean, there's no big thing to gain from it. He's done OTAs before. I mean, he's been a stud since week 3 of his rookie year, where he had 4 touchdowns and burst onto the scene. So that's why you gave him this contract extension, because he's already proven it. So yes, you need to stay in shape in the offseason and keep everything sharp, but you trust that Devon Achane will have all that. You want him by the season, by the time the real games are played. You don't need him in OTAs and all that, although it's good that he's around.
Yes and no, because it's a new system. You're doing some things. You're not going to do everything that was the same before. So now you're kind of changing some things up. You do want to kind of start running the plays that they're running now and those kind of things, just to get the mental reps in and that kind of stuff. I'm with you. He doesn't need much wear and tear or anything like that at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like what's going on with Minter in Baltimore. You got a new coach, a new system in there. You kind of want to have everybody there, because at the beginning, everybody wants to run those, because that's all this is now, is a lot of mental work, running these mental plays. So by the time you get to training camp, it's like, yo, we ran this like 42 times in mini camps. Let's go. You got to know this play by now. That's what this is all about at this point.
And even then, it's still an offense that's going to be very similar. Bobby Slowick was still on Mike McDaniel's staff last year, got promoted to offensive coordinator. He has the keys to the offense. This is the offense that Jeff Hafley wanted for his team as he took the reins. So it comes off the same coaching tree, Shanahan coaching tree. So, the Slowicks, like McDaniel, like Shanahan, like McVay, like LaFleur, which is where Hafley just came from in Green Bay. So all of them part of the same coaching tree. So have a lot of the same concepts in mind. So it won't be too much different for HN. It's still going to be in the run game, a lot of the outside zone where he excels in. And a big reason why for John Eric Sullivan, Devon Achane is an ideal, just perfect running back to slide right in to the type of offense that the Dolphins will be running. But then, there will be certainly Bobby Slowick will have his own intricacies and his own plays that he wants to run, where, Devon can get into the playbook, maybe do things at walk through speed. And then, come training camp, or maybe if he's fine by mini camp, whatever, he wants to get a little bit of reps, you could just slow play it as far as getting him in to like
I doubt Slowick will have as much motion as McDaniel wants to have. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone's gonna have as much motion as McDaniel.
And that's why you make a lot of mistakes, because you know what I'm saying? And this is a young offense, and this is a new offense. So you've got to kind of get everybody in sync. That's the only reason why I think he can be out there, is only for the mental reps of, lightly running through stuff. It's not like you're taking any hits or anything. So it's not really any kind of, crazy wear and tear. But I'm just saying, I would imagine that he'll be taking the field soon, because he's got his $32 million guaranteed now, you know?
Yeah. Whatever he's dealing with, you don't have to baby it so much anymore. You still want to an extent, but yeah, I know what you're saying, that a lot of these minor injury deals, they have a sudden way of like a magic wand just healing once a player gets his contract extension. So we'll see if that's the case next week, or if the Dolphins release video. I know they just had an OTA session yesterday that was closed. If there's like video that comes out and you see Achane like running a little bit with the ball, then we'll know.
Right. Exactly. If they show that, then yeah, definitely. No, he's back or something like that. They'll do something like that, obviously, since they just signed him to the contract. Do we know anything about the Austin Jackson injury at all?
No, I mean, just that he was present but not participating with the team as far as like the team offensive line drills. So, you know, we saw him during stretch, accounted for him. And then when the offensive line lined up, even at a walkthrough pace, it was not Austin Jackson at right tackle, nor anywhere else on the offensive line, to be clear. So, yeah, and then later they were outside, and then he went inside. So you imagine that he did probably some rehab work inside that, you know, wasn't for our eyes to see as the media was watching on the outdoor fields. So, yeah, that was the case with Austin Jackson. I mean, healthy enough to at least be out there. He wasn't like in any boot or I can't remember if I saw even a sleeve on any right or left leg or arm. So, but that's certainly a question. Probably Wednesday morning of next week, we'll get that question into Jeff Hafley, find some clarity, and then see if he's doing more of that OTA session and et cetera.
Yeah, no, definitely. And see if the plan is really to keep this guy on the left side. Okay, so this is okay. Not only do you got to ask him about, okay, so wait a minute. If you have an injury to Austin Jackson on the right side, then Keon Smith was practicing on the right side, on the right tackle. Is he your backup right tackle? Is he your swing tackle? Is it a battle between him and Heck and everybody else for swing tackle? Is Caden part of it, or he's not? And then if he says he's not, then you got to ask him. So if you're going to keep him on the left, is he a future left tackle and you're moving Patrick Paul to right tackle? Because Jackson's future looks like it's a one-year thing, the way you guys handled it this offseason by paying him off. It looks like you're going to dispatch him at the end of the year. Not, you can't put that in the question, but it's kind of odd that Austin Jackson's future doesn't necessarily look like it's here in Miami, and you're going to have a hole on the right side. And he said, we're going to keep him on the left. That's odd. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know.
These are all valid questions that we'll want answered. And I'll tell you, Big O, once they're asked, the immediate cop-out is, well, it's way too early for all of that. Yeah, you know what the answer is going to be.
Yes, you could say it's too early, but wait a minute. You're not practicing him on the right side at all. You have chosen not to practice him on the right side. This is your top pick. I doubt you drafted him this high to be a guard. So if your right tackle goes down and you're not giving him any reps at right tackle, then are you really putting your best right tackle out there? And that's the question that has to be asked, you know, overall, because the other guys are not proven right tackles that are filling in behind Austin Jackson. Okay. It's not like Keon, and as much as I like Keon Smith or Heck, they're backups, they're rotational guys. They haven't proven anything yet. Whereas with Caden Proctor, dude, that's your high. That's a high pick there. That's a guy that should be playing tackle. So you're going to keep him at guard if something happens to Austin Jackson? That just doesn't make sense, dude.
Yeah. There's an aspect to the question of the overall plan for Caden Proctor, more so than just the Austin Jackson implications if there's an injury. So that's more like bigger picture because, hey, you brought him in, you imagine with a plan. And I'm sure then their other counter would be that, well, we saw the rare combination of size and speed. We just want to get him in the building. Then we'll figure out the best 5, as is commonly what coaches and football people want to say. We'll figure out the best 5, once we do that. But at the same time, they have said it's important to keep him on the left side. So now, what's the statute of limitations on that aspect of it? Is that for just his rookie season? Is that for his entire Dolphins tenure? You want him on the left side? So, and I will say this because I mentioned it yesterday on a Dolphins Deep Dive with my colleague Chris Perkins, our Sun Sentinel podcast, is that Caden Proctor is the one who this regime took in the first round and they want to keep him on the left side, and he's a left tackle in college. Patrick Paul is the second round tackle that they inherited from the previous regime. So think about that aspect too. When you think of who is this regime more tied to, I think this regime would want to also, because you have a good player in Patrick Paul as well, and also has the rare combination of size and speed for alignment. Like these guys are all, not entirely similar because Patrick Paul is under 330. He's 326, but they're both 6'7". Caden Proctor up at 352, so a little bit different specimens, but. So I would think that they want him for the long term, and next year when his extension is up or he's up for an extension, that they would want to keep him for long term. But they are more tied to Caden Proctor as the foundational piece of this rebuild, that first draft pick, whereas Patrick Paul they inherited.
No, and I get it. And look, Tunsil played guard his first year.
Yes.
You drafted him to be he never played guard again, is my point. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I would imagine that Caden Proctor is only going to play guard this year. There's no way you drafted that kind of man with that ability to play guard, bro. No, there's no way. So and if the right tackle gets injured, which he often does, unfortunately, and hell, he's already started off injured, how is he not practicing already there? That's the part that I don't have. I cannot get through my thick skull. That's the part I can't get through. And
especially since to a lot of us, of course, internally, they'll never say this, but to a lot of us, this season is a wash. This season is about getting through it, seeing what you have. So we want to view it with the idea of let's start seeing what you have for the future, which would be for Caden Proctor, one of the tackle spots. If it's at left tackle, Patrick Paul, get him going at right tackle, all that, where internally, like they're going to try to put their best 5 to try and win early in the season.
Yeah,
So I want to see if that changes.
Patrick Paul has not played last year the way he played. He was never a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard to fix something that isn't broken. You know, that's also the problem I see coming too, that if there's any plan here to keep the guy on the left and then you're going to move the guy that's on the left to the right, that guy's not going to be happy with that, bro. He's just not,
Right.
But by the way, I forgot, what was Patrick Paul in college?
What was Patrick Paul? What, positionally?
Yeah.
Left tackle. I'm pretty sure.
That's my point. Mm-hmm. That's my point. If he was a left tackle, he's been a left tackle. And then the other guy's a left tackle. And then, it's just somebody's got to play right tackle, dude. Somebody's going to have to play right tackle.
Right. And that's the point I'm making as far as who this regime is more tied to in keeping them at their natural position. The one who they drafted in the first round, like, is their own draft pick, or the one who they inherited, who has proven to be a very good player, but still they inherited him as a second rounder from the previous regime. I would think they're more inclined to keep their draft pick where he is. Now, that if Patrick Paul gets an extension next year, which I think they do, then now they are tied to both of them. It's not just an inherit, like now they're very much tied to Devon Achane because they extended him. So, Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer, as they're expected to be extended. Jordan Brooks actually said, I don't know, it could go either way on his extension, but they will tie themselves to those players by extending them.
I'm with you. All right. Lamar Jackson. There have been people down here that want Lamar Jackson. There have been writers that have written about, you should make a move for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's got like an $80 million cap number or something like that, and he wants a new contract. I think whoever gives it to him is going to be an idiot because running quarterbacks do not age well, and he's already breaking down. But I talked about this, I think it was either last week or the week before, that this problem's coming. But now the beauty, at least for me, because I've never been a Lamar Jackson believer, great kid and all that, but I don't see him as a great passer in the end. I think Miami will never be part of that mix ever again, no matter what, because these guys, there's no way that they would trade for Lamar Jackson. One, the team is not even close to being ready for it in the next year or two, so that would not help out. And two, I think they want a guy that can work in the pocket and pass. That's not really who he is. He's more of a running quarterback than anything else. He's not a pocket passer. So just out of curiosity, this mess in Baltimore is going to get worse with him because he's got them by the balls because they've got this brutal cap number. And then they're talking about trading him. And then with the cap issues Miami has this year, and then next year, they're still going to take a 50 to 60, $70 million cap hit anyways next year. I think that ship has sailed. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, timing wouldn't be right now for the Dolphins. I mean, if they were in some kind of contending window and you were a quarterback away, then yeah, I could see something like that. But not right now for these Dolphins in a rebuild, as they already invested in Malik Willis to be the quarterback for at least this season. He's still going to be rostered unless you take a cap hit next season, where only if he's really bad and you're picking at the top end of the draft, then will you be looking for another rookie franchise quarterback to have on a rookie contract for 4 or 5 seasons down the road. So it's kind of like it's Malik Willis now, and then if it's not Malik Willis for the future, I feel like it's one of the draft's next quarterbacks. If it's next season, if it takes you 2 years to figure it out, it's in the draft class after. So yeah, I don't see really any. I mean, unless it's like you miss on Willis, you miss in the draft, and then Lamar Jackson's, he's a lot older as a quarterback who depends on athleticism. So it's kind of like, yeah, I would be with you there, but I think that ship has sailed, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually done, and I'm glad because I'd rather them build for the future. He's looking for the now. If he's going to go somewhere, he has to go somewhere where they are, like you just said, a quarterback away from getting it done. Don't forget, folks, Welton Rayon, proud sponsors of our program, 954-966-4646. They've been with us every day of this platform. Next month will be 7 years. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Reach out to them. The consultation is completely free. So if you suffer any damage to your home, your condo, your business, your car, don't call the insurance company. You call them first. They send their adjusters. They assess the damage, and then they attack the insurance company on your behalf. That's what it's all about. 954-966-4646. With free agency, still a lot of players out there. June 1st, they should get some money. Whether they extend any of the current guys that want some deals, or is there any chance, do you see them shopping out there trying to get some cheap veterans to add to somewhere that they may need some depth? Will June 1st make a difference anywhere on the roster for the people currently, or something extra on the side? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, first and foremost, the 13 picks that they drafted, a lot of that post-June 1st money will go to signing the draft class. So they'll secure that. And then beyond that, yeah, I mean, I could see – I think they're working on the extensions for Jordan Brooks and Abram Brewer regardless. And then, yeah, even if you save some in the short term on extending those guys along with Achane, then – yeah, I think they will be looking for some of the remaining free agents to fill some holes, but it's pretty similar to what you saw in that first wave of free agency. It's those kind of contracts. It's going to be the minimum or just or near minimum, just a little bit more for some guys if they really want him and in the building, and that's what it takes. So it's not like they're going to be big spending. It's not like they're going to be solving all their problems with big free agent signings of guys that are remaining, because we would have seen that already. So they want to. It's going to be 1-year contracts near the minimum. Plug in some holes for whoever wants to come in here. Maybe some veterans who could be good locker room guys and could also just fill a position of need, provide depth. It'll be those kind of signings.
Yeah. All right. What do you got going on?
Yeah, just covering OTAs right now. It's everything on our website. We have stories on Malik Willis and his progress at this point, the offensive line, Patrick Paul, and what else did I write? There was a Wednesday story. I'm already forgetting. Devon Achane, the extension talk. Jordan Brooks and Abram Brewer, if they're next. So got all those storylines all this week, and then just kind of open slate. We'll dive into next week, just seeing what pops up. I think we got to look into that Austin Jackson injury for sure.
Yeah, I think Brewer's the guy that gets the deal. I do, because you can keep him you can give him a 3-year deal, which is like a 2-year deal, and then that buys you time to draft a center to develop behind him next year or the year after. That's probably what I think you end up doing, because you want to protect your quarterback, bro, and you want to keep your center happy. You drafted 2 linebackers. You might make Brooks wait a little bit to find out what you got in the kid. I'm just saying. So the Zach Thomas thing may come to light again in another form and fashion with another Texas Tech linebacker. So I'm just saying it. You just never know. But I think Brewer's the guy out of the 2 that if I was putting my money on one of the 2 to get the contract, I would say it's Brewer, because he's the guy that you really cannot replace.
Yeah. And Brew, in an interview that he gave Chris Perkins with us, talked to him at a charity event, and he said, hey, he's not really like worried about it. He has no anxiety over it, so he feels pretty confident. It seems that it's going to get done. He's not rushing it. He's not like in any hurry to get it done. He seems to feel like he knows it's going to happen. And then Brooks, it might have been telling when he said, I don't know, it could go either way. So now maybe that's kind of like a negotiating ploy, like, let people know, hey, I'm not happy with the number that they're giving me right now, and that's why we're going back to the negotiating table. Remember when Tua was going through his contract? Yeah, he was like, the market is the market, this and that. By the end of it, then he was saying, show me the money. So these contract talks can take every twist and turn. But
there's all kinds of linebackers. There's all kinds of linebackers on the team they drafted and they signed. I
was going to get to that. Because the Jacob Rodriguez pick, I see putting more Terrell Dotson in conflict, where now T-Dot, they could shake him down before the start of the season to take a restructured deal, take less money, especially if they're liking what they're seeing early on from Jacob Rodriguez. And he'll be the future Mike linebacker, green dot, communicating to the rest of the defense, which is what T-Dot does. And Jordan Brooks plays the will linebacker, and he doesn't have to go doing all the communicating. He just plays, and that's how he thrives. So that's more putting Terrell Dotson in conflict in the immediate future. Kyle Lewis, he's versatile, so could he be the future Jordan Brooks? Maybe, but he could also be like right now they have Willie Gay kind of like possibly playing that big nickel spot, that third linebacker. Could he be that guy who can also excel in coverage as like a former safety he's kind of like a tweener at linebacker safety. So there's different roles that these guys could play. But if you can keep Jordan Brooks on, then
one more guy. There's one more guy you're leaving out.
And let me see.
Kid. The Wisconsin kid that was supposed to be an early third day pick, dude.
Yeah, you're talking about Mason Rieger, the edge. Oh, well, he's more of an edge defender. I could see him playing like in that 4-3 defensive end type of role.
You think he's too big to play linebacker?
Yeah. What are they? Well, I mean, he's at 251, so kind of close, but.
You got jets flying by, man?
I just had a jet flying very close, apparently.
Yeah, that sounded like a jet was flying by. Are you close to where? Are you close to where the Air and Sea show is going to be, or something?
Oh wait, is that the? Because which one is it right now? It's the that's the Fort Lauderdale one.
No, I think it's the Miami Beach one this weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not far, like across the bridge. So.
Okay, so I'm wondering if somebody's flying around to test something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That didn't sound like an airline jet.
No.
That sounded like a jet. You know what I'm saying?
I was worried for a second. I said, "Big O, you might be capturing my last moments on this earth."
Yeah, unless is that did it look like an Iranian drone? Is what I want to know.
Oh man, yeah. They
got
to spy on this Dolphins talk.
That's what it is. That's what it is. We started talking about Mason, and then all of a sudden it got hairy. See what I'm saying? I don't know. He might be there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Enjoy your long weekend, my brother. Be good out there.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
You got it. All righty, there he is, the one and only David Furones.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 18 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new Acura ADX. Only $289 a month during our 18th anniversary sale.
All right. Yes, sir. And that is Subaru right there. But I don't think we want to do Subaru. I think we want to do Acura. Right? Nope, that's Welton Rayom. Let me see where it's at. Do I have the right one? There we go. Now I've got the right one. Welcome aboard, Manny Navarro. There we go. The Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Hurricanes report. It doesn't matter. It's all the Zinn family anyway, so it's all good in the hood, whether it's Subaru or Toyota or Acura. It's all in the family anyway. How you doing, my brother? How you feeling?
Feeling great, man. How are you?
I can't complain. Hurricanes fans can't complain. I know you and we don't go crazy about recruiting, and we've talked about it, how you end up losing a lot of these recruits and all that. But the things that have changed that are kind of fun to talk about, Miami was never recently in the top 4 recruiting, top 5 recruiting, and after, last week, it got them into the top 5 when they got the corner. This week, they got a couple of more commitments, and now they're in the top 4. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, and they're getting these guys from out of state, which is the really impressive part. We talked about it last week. They ended up losing out from Mark Matthews, who was the #1 offensive tackle this cycle, but then they go out and they go into Alabama, and they get probably the best guard in the country in Jatori Williams, who's 6'5", 320, a guy that Alabama wanted, Georgia wanted, all these SEC schools were pushing for him. So they get him, and then they go into North Carolina.
Wait a minute. But did you know that there was a Phoenix City, Alabama? Because that's where he's from. I had no idea that there was a Phoenix City in Alabama. I was like, wow. because I'm reading Phoenix City. I'm going, oh, and this must be Arizona. And then it finishes with Alabama. I'm like, I had no idea it was Phoenix City in Alabama.
Yeah, as a longtime high school football guy, I got to learn all these city names because, you know, our South Florida high school teams would go on the road and play in a bunch of different states here in the Southeast. And so the first time I saw that, which was probably about 10, 15 years ago, I was like, Phoenix City, Alabama? That's the last thing I ever imagined. But, yeah, it exists. Yeah, interesting area. I've never been to Phoenix City. I've been to other parts of Alabama, but I have yet to go to that high school.
And you know, back a few years back, you and I were laughing like, oh, wait a minute. So we're battling Air Force and Tulane and Eastern Missouri State for this guy. Something's wrong here, Manny. We're doing some. This mofo decommitted from Alabama, and Georgia wanted him. Mm-hmm. So this is the kind of you're recruiting the right player when this is going on, dude.
Yeah, well, and you're a national program now. Like, that was the problem for Miami. They weren't nationally relevant. And so now you go into these places and you can have a real fist fight for a player, which is something they couldn't do for, 15, 20 years. And so now it's they're a national brand again, and that's what Mario has done. And that's going into Alabama and getting the best offensive lineman. It's funny, you think about the last time Mario went into Alabama and got an offensive lineman, he got a Nez Cooper. Well, Nez Cooper, I think, was ranked like the number 14 or 1,300 player in the class. Meanwhile, now they're going to Alabama and get the best player in Alabama. So that shows you the progress of where this program has gone. They get the best offensive lineman, the most highest, rank that everybody wanted. They no longer have to go for the Nez Coopers.
And they got the linebacker, A.J. Randall.
Yeah, Harrison Randall Jr. is his full name. Top linebacker, one of the top linebackers in the country. Absolute freak, 6'3", 210. Plays multiple sports. A guy that runs the 300-meter hurdles in like less than 38 seconds. Also plays basketball. 84 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, interception last season. His mom is a member of the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame. As an All-American track person. So, this is a guy who normally would have gone to Clemson, right? You're up in that North Carolina, South Carolina area. Clemson was the premier program for many, many years here in the ACC, and now Miami has overtaken them. So you're able to go into North Carolina with your defensive coordinator leading the charge and bring in a top 100 linebacker, which is something that Miami has not been able to do. We talked about the linebacker position, right, and what they're lacking going into the season. It's the one sort of question mark you have, and you go out there now and you recruit one of the best in the country, a guy whose mom clearly is a special athlete.
Not only that, you beat out South Carolina, Ohio State, and Georgia.
Yep,
again,
really good teams. Yep.
Yes. That's that's the other thing that I gotta. By the way, he's from Garner, North Carolina. Belichick wasn't on the list there. I'm shocked that he didn't want to go play for Jordan Hudson.
Yeah, shocking that nobody wants to go play for that team and that. What did they call themselves? The 33rd NFL team, right? That's
yes,
what
they were
calling themselves up there.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Ohio State's the 75th. They're the 33rd. Yeah. Miami's the 102nd, but they're the 33rd.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Yeah. Well, listen, he's
shit is going to hit the fan when you've got Mike Lombardi running your stuff. I mean, that's there's no bigger fraud in the business than Mike Lombardi. He's been a fraud forever. And he's lasted like that forever. It really is amazing. How is their recruiting class? Just out of shits and giggles there for North Carolina, since you follow all of this.
Not nearly as good as it needs to be. What's funny is that they attacked the transfer portal really, really hard right when they got there, and they said we're going to take nothing but transfers. And then they decided, well, we're going to spend all our money the second cycle on recruits, which. If you do a great job in the transfer portal, right, and you win like Florida State did, maybe that's the right approach, right? If you're able to sort of prove the results. But it kind of baffled me because last season was a disaster with their transfer class. So to go heavy on recruiting right after that or in the midst of that, it just didn't make sense. So they've got a bunch of freshmen.
They overpaid for their quarterback, the Geo kid.
Yeah.
They gave him like $2 million, and I'm watching him like, you paid for that? Like, really? Give me a break, dude. That kid wasn't that good.
They signed a top 25 recruiting class in 26th. I think it's 22nd overall. They've got a bunch of blue chippers in there, so they spent their money on high school recruits. The problem is how many of those guys are honestly going to be ready to help you right away. So this season is going to be another disaster. The 27 recruiting class, I think, is in the 50s. It's not even. I think they've got 5 commitments. So you talk about Michael Lombardi and Belichick and what they're doing. It just doesn't make sense to me the way that they decided to attack this.
What do we know about the the AD search?
I still don't have anything on that. It's weird. They had the meetings up in St. Augustine last week, the ACC meetings. I didn't go. I didn't attend them, but I was asking some of the people for The Athletic who went for us, and they really weren't hearing any sort of definitive answers regarding Miami and what's going to finally happen there and when they're going to make their announcement. Again, I feel like that position, the athletic director position, it's probably weird to say this, but I feel like it's being devalued. It's almost like the running back position.
No, I got you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know if what those responsibilities are going to be is going to be as meaningful as they used to be, right? Being the athletic director.
The only thing that I'm hoping and praying that I'm reading into this right, the whole reaction on your mark, especially from people that actually covered it and inside and all that, I'm hoping that put the brakes on that at least.
We'll see.
And they're thinking of something else. They paused and said, hey, you know what? Let's take a little deeper look at this because we haven't even hired the guy. It was just mentioned, and there's been a viral response, and it's been a bad one. And, things in Miami are really good right now. You don't really want to bring in somebody that could bring in the bad vibes. So I'm just hoping that the brakes were pumped on the your mark part. That's all I'm saying. I don't know who else you want to go hire, but don't hire that guy.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I agree. I think, certainly the reason we didn't see anything go forward over the last few weeks with that position is because of the reaction, in my opinion. I think that certainly played a factor. I think people are sort of taking pause. They don't want to bring in any sort of negative energy when everything has been so positive to this point.
By the way, Miles Deep, who is from Las Vegas, so this is you'll know where the agenda's coming from. He's a great dude, but he's been a big fan of this kid, and he's asking, will this be Lofton's last chance? And has he had any improvements? And I think we've talked about how smallish he is and just hasn't really turned the corner. But go ahead.
Yeah, listen, this is going to be year 3 for Elijah Lofton. And I thought, go back to that Ole Miss game, the semifinal. I think it was the semifinal when he got hit on the catch over the middle. And you saw, like, man, this gets tough, right? Like he sticks his nose in there when he has to get a hit. When he has to take a hit, he's not afraid of it. The problem is because of his size, when he gets hit hard by some of these safeties and some of these guys that are covering him, it's knocked him out of games. This isn't the first time he's been knocked out of a game. So Miami has bigger, more physical tight ends now on the roster. I think they've done a really good job in recruiting in the last cycle. I really like the Gavin Mueller kid and Israel Briggs. So last chance, I would say this is probably his last opportunity in Miami to be a real factor. I would love for them to use him and utilize him in more of a backfield type role instead of maybe just lining him out at tight end, because I think the problem is he needs space to catch the ball and make a move. And when you're rolling him over the middle, he's just too small. And the hits that he's taking is too much for his body physically, and I think giving him a chance to make a move before taking a hit is what he needs.
Yeah, put him in motion and stuff, and keep him out of space. Yeah, it's probably what he's more. He's more of an H-back. He's more of a wide receiver than he is an inline tight end.
Yeah,
and you know what? It's a great question by Miles Deep, because we've talked about this, and I think I mentioned it to you like a week or two ago. Like, when are we getting back to tight end U? You know what I'm saying? Like, because to me, the tight end is the most cherished position for a quarterback. If you have a great tight end, dude, quarterbacks love that shit, because it's a big target that's closer to you, and it's just easier for them to hit those kind of guys. And when you have a good one that knows how to, you know, get in position and catch the ball and block and those kind of things, it's just a beautiful thing to have that. And we haven't seen that in a while for the Canes, you know.
Yeah, and what's interesting, you know, I mean, you had it with Elijah Arroyo a couple years ago, right? With Cam Ward, but he was physically capable of playing that position and taking hits. Yeah. I mean, what would he end up being, a second or third round pick, I think, of the Seahawks?
Even the kid that went to Houston, that's a sack of injuries.
Yeah.
He had all the talent in the world to play the position. It's just the poor kid just had trouble staying healthy. I forgot his name now.
Oh yeah. Brevin Jordan. Yeah. I only remember that because it wasn't too long ago. The memory bank, it's getting full. I keep telling my wife I need to add like another server to save all this information. But yeah, I think for Miami to get back to being tight end you just need guys with size, and Mario obviously has that at every position, and then tight end it was sort of lacking. You know, the other guys, the Luka Gilberts, the Jackson Carvers, those were blocking tight ends. They were extra linemen. This group with Gavin Mueller and Israel Briggs, I think, is a little different. They are back to that Elijah Arroyo type build.
Okay. Off the beaten path here. What is wrong with Lane Kiffin, bro? Like, really?
Where do we start?
Yeah, it's just the best thing they actually got him off social media.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of a conversation that was from LSU, because I don't think that was a very nice conversation. You know,
well,
I don't think went over. I don't think the dean went over and said, or the AD and said, "Hey, Lane, you know, you want to do us a favor? Let's focus on football." Let's say, no, I think it was more along the lines of, Lane, you're embarrassing us. Let's get the hell off of social media. You're a football coach. We don't need you on social media anymore. So there must have been a little bit of a stern conversation on that.
Well, they're paying him a shitload of money, I mean, the amount of money that they're paying this guy, the amount of pressure that he's under, that whole school at this point. You look at the coaches they brought in, the controversy, the governor getting involved. LSU is a very volatile place, and to make Lane Kiffin your football coach on top of it is kind of like just throwing in like extra kerosene, right? Like just lighting things up even more. And you know, I have some buddies that have been texting me, and they're just like, is LSU like the most villainous school in the country right now? And it almost feels that way, right? I'm gonna go to this text message here and read it to you. I gotta find it from earlier this week. But one of these writers of mine that you know, he said here, LSU is easily the most crooked university in the country now. If this was the 80s or 90s, they would be prime candidate for the death penalty for the entire athletic program. So I don't know what to tell you, brother. I mean, it is the pressure to win in today's game, the amount of money that's being spent, you know, it's going to lead to guys like Lane. It's going to lead to guys like him running his mouth. Look at Steve Sarkisian now, the things that are coming out of his mouth at the SEC meetings, you know, the shots he's taking at Texas Tech.
Did you say shots? Did you say shots?
Shots. That's the right guy, yeah.
You said Sarkisian. Shots, right? Is that? I'm sorry. No, because I saw him hanging out with Kash Patel recently, so I'm just
So that's where he was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. You said when you talk Sarkisian, you talk shots, and you. So that wasn't that pun wasn't intended. You were actually. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, he's legitimately taking the verbal jabs.
Do you know a band called the Interrupters?
I do not.
It's my favorite ska band right now on the planet.
Okay, ska music.
And they're a really fun band actually.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got you mentioned kerosene. They've got a song called "She's Kerosene," and I'm just going to read the first paragraph for you. But I'm gonna, instead of say she, I'm gonna put he's, because Lane Kiffin. I'm a match. He's kerosene. He's going to burn down everything. He's an arsonist in his pastime, and I've been burned for the last time. Time. I've been burned for the last time. Time. By the way, listen to that song, "She's Kerosene."
I'm going to listen to it.
Interrupters, okay?
All
Great song. Excellent freaking song. All right?
But
just check it out. And so I thought of that when you said, it's like throwing kerosene. I'm like, she's kerosene. Just put he's instead, and that's it. You just light the match. It's the same thing you do with players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll take a chance on a guy that's got a shady, character. And why? Because he can help you win. And by the way, I talked about this earlier this week. Kirby Smart versus Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal is trying to win the non-Kirby Smart way. His players aren't constantly getting arrested. His players aren't part of the NASCAR up-and-coming series. You know what I'm saying? Where 25 to 30 of his guys, in fact, his NFL guy just got busted 2 days ago for 125 miles an hour out there for the Eagles. So, and they're killing people and all kinds of stuff. 2 people already dead in different accidents.
One was a staffer, I believe.
Yeah, one was a staffer and all that. And Mario's people aren't getting arrested, dude. And if we start thinking about the way that Canes used to win, they always had a couple of those guys that were getting in trouble, and there was other things going on behind the scenes and all that. It's interesting how the Indianas of the world that came up and won a national championship last year, and what Mario's trying to do now, and they're trying to do it a different way than the way a lot of other people have done it in college football over time. Mario has good human beings overall on his team, dude.
Yeah, and to me that's a culture issue, right? You think about Georgia and the amount of guys that have gotten speeding tickets. Like, how is there not a theme there, right? That you'd think the administration
Urban Meyer-esque. Meyer-esque. And by the way, who the hell is Urban Meyer to say that he's lost respect for Michigan? Like, you're stanky fingers. You have no respect, bro. What is wrong with you? Like, get out of here.
All these guys, forgive and forget, right? All these guys make mistakes, and then they just all of a sudden move on to the next job. Just like the Lane Kiffin thing, by the way. I don't know if you saw they hired Ed Orgeron to sort of bury the other story.
Yeah, I saw it. They got a big old Ed in there. He's gonna be helping out.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's get it out of the news cycle, right? Get these stinky stories out of the news cycle as fast as possible, and that's what they try to do. But no, that's what we're here for, bro. We're here to remember those things and to keep track of it. Yeah, man, it is just wacky stuff. All right, what do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out? Yep. So I had a mailbag that I put out this week answering some recruiting questions. I actually got asked about West Florida. West Florida football, the Argonauts, the Division II. They're moving up to D1. They won a championship in 2019. So Division II championship. So now they're moving up to the Division I level.
Love the name, the Argonauts.
Yes.
That alone in itself, it attracts me right there.
So I got one of those questions about West Florida. I mean, just a bunch of, sort of conversation about where the best players in the country come from in Florida, which counties, which regions. are top. Broward County's killing it right now. Broward County is the best county probably in the country in terms of the NFL draft for the last,
wow,
I don't know,
nice.
10 years. So 69 draft picks in the last 10 years. So
that's pretty good. By the way,
yeah.
we got a scoop here from the Horn Dog.
Go
He
ahead.
says, Phoenix City used to be a strip club city for me during my college days in the mid to late 90s. It's right next door to Columbus, Georgia. I had a blast in college. LOL. So there you go. I'm
there you go. Now we know what to do in Phoenix City when we go. Yeah, I've been all over the South. Some cities I just skipped right over. So maybe I should have stopped in Phoenix City.
We don't have a strip club sponsor on the show. Hey, let's
it's
go.
It's about time. Let's get rolling here.
Yeah, the Phoenix City ladies. Yeah, man, let's go. Let's bring it on.
Absolutely. So the next thing I'll have is looking at the best recruiting finds for every college football program in the last 10 years. So the best find for every P4 program. It's the offseason, baby. We're still in May. We're still several months away from the actual game, so I got to come up with content every week, brother. And that's the latest idea.
Why don't you do He Who Gets Arrested Most? And
that's a good one.
Who are the programs with the most arrests?
Yes, that's something else. That may take some time.
Yeah, that would like. Yeah, who better than you? You love breaking down all that kind of stuff, dude. You've done all that crazy stat stuff in the past.
This is going to be a new spreadsheet. Bro. It's going to be a new spreadsheet for me. Arrests.
Yes. Plus, then you follow up. Who does it cleanest?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Fewest arrests. Gotcha. All right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what Mario's doing, we need to glorify it a little bit more. You know, he's trying to do something that's really difficult, which is win a national championship. Right. Okay. Now he's trying to do something even more difficult, win a national championship with decent human beings top to bottom on your roster. That's hard, bro.
It's not easy. Not easy.
Yeah. Yep. It's not easy. So, you know, I bet you people would be very interested in who gets arrested most. That would be, you know, and who does it cleanest would be very prideful for a lot of places.
I would say, I mean, I don't remember Alabama having too many arrests, right? When
not like Florida and Ohio, not like Florida
or even Georgia.
No.
Yeah. So I would say if you were to right now say which college coach is most like Nick Saban in building a program, would Mario be at the top of the list? I mean, no championships yet, but would you say of all his disciples, maybe has it the closest?
Well, the Indiana guy already did it,
right?
So yeah, I mean, he did it.
You'd have to go with Cignetti, and they haven't had anybody arrested, right? So
no, Cignetti's program is exceptional. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you have to go Cignetti's for. That's why I mentioned Indiana when I was mentioning Mario, because Cignetti has broken that glass ceiling that way, and so you know, and I hell, Notre Dame has more problems with their players than Miami does, which is kind of crazy, and Indiana. And it's only a few, by the way. It's not a lot either for Freeman. He has a pretty good program also. But that's my point, that what Mario's doing is impressive, dude. That his guys are
in control,
yeah, you know, and really, really good people. That's hard to find, man. All right, follow him on Twitter and Manny_Navarro, and of course subscribe to The Athletic. Manny, as always, my brother, appreciate you immensely. Thank you, sir.
See you next week, brother.
You got it.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 18 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new Acura Integra. Only $239 a month during our 18th anniversary sale.
That's right, baby. Visit our friends there at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and we thank them for their support. And, of course, Manny Navarro here on the program. Thank you. Sloman's Home Shield. There you go. We're in 49 of 50 states. Appreciate them as always. They will be a part of our Hurricanes coverage too this year too, as we expand our Hurricanes coverage. All right. Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can send in your questions, comments, insults, whatever it is you want to send in. We always appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Always, that helps out. Visit our amazing sponsors. Another way to support us. Many different ways to support us and keep us around. Next month will be 7 years. 7 years on our own. It's the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my life. So it's very appreciative, all of you out there. Let's see. Is Austin Jackson injured already? Dude can't even watch practices without being injured. Let's see. The John Hernandez, Yormark is not the guy at all for the Canes. You and I agree. Many of us agree on that. But when they said that name, the thing that I love about it is it went cold, bro. It has died out. Let's see if they picked up on the vibes. Let's see if they actually asked like media people that worked the inside and dealt with him. Did they go back and maybe look for some Panther employees that were there during then? Did they do their homework? Because initially it looked like they completely failed in their homework. But what I love is it's gone completely silent. That tells me that there's a chance that they have taken a step back and says, hey, you know what? Let's assess this because we got a good thing going. Let's not screw this up right now. Let's make sure we add the right person to this mix because Jay Lucas looks like he's the right basketball coach. And you right now, your football program is well on its way to producing. Don't screw this up, dude. Mr. Hernandez says they're ska and punk. Yeah, of course. But I think they're more ska than punk. If you listen to their music, and I do because I'm a huge Interrupters fan, awesome. Yeah. Listen, by the way, for those of you, if you know Billie Eilish, she has that song "Bad Guy." The Interrupters, for me, did a better version of "Bad Guy" than Billie Eilish's. And I like I love Billie Eilish. I love her music. I love her voice. Her talent is awesome. Her creativity is through the roof. And I like "Bad Guy" in her version, but I thought the Interrupters, their version of "Bad Guy," I thought it was better, actually. Let's make that happen. Vegas has plenty. LOL, says Miles Deep. Mario Culture. That's why I'm glad Matthews went to A&M. Warriors come out to play. Congratulations. Well, we haven't made it yet. We could shut down tomorrow. But thank you. I appreciate it, man. Dinner choice for Anthony Kyle Campos for Spurs versus Thunder tonight. Do I hit Duffy's? You know, I was at Duffy's yesterday because we went to see Mandalorian over in Kendall, and there's a Duffy's right next door. So we walked over, had dinner at Duffy's, and then went to watch I Love Boosters, which I'll give it to you now. Regretful. But yeah, I actually was at Duffy's. So let me see, what is it? Duffy's, Sports Grill, Doc BS, Yard House, any new spots with TV. I went to Twin Peaks, the eye candy, great, but the food, okay. Dude, have you been, I don't know the name of it, but it's in the Dolphin Mall, and it is a phenomenal sports bar. It's like a stadium-like sports bar, and they've actually got pretty good food. I don't know the name of it, But if you live anywhere near Dolphins Mall, that's a sports bar that I would visit. Just telling you, that's a freaking killer sports bar. Awesome sports bar. That's one that I would, But any of the ones you mentioned there, dude, Sports Grill, I don't know what Doc BS is. I have no idea what that is. Duffy's, those are all good. Yard House. Does Yard House have a lot of TVs? I don't know about that, but yeah, those are pretty good. Those are all pretty good, man. I don't have a problem with any of those. Oh, the other one I like down in Brickell, something, is it American Grill or oh man, what's the name of it? It's a great bar down in Brickell, but obviously Brickell, so you got to get down there. It's a mission a little bit, but that's a good place too. Forgot the name of it, but it's a really cool bar, man. Good day, Big O from Scott. I'm hungover, drank 3.25 gallons of Jameson. Yeah, so that's a lot of drinking, bro. That's a lot of drinking. Good morning to you, Oscar. But he still made it to the show. You're a American Social. That's it. American Social. That's the bar. That's a great bar, dude. Excellent food, too. That's an excellent bar. They do great work there. Let me give you a movie review of I Love Boosters. And let me tell you, Keke Palmer is in it. I like her. Isa Gonzalez. I just saw her in what was that movie? Something in the Gray, and she did a very good job in the movie In the Gray. And she looked smoking hot. She doesn't look smoking hot in this one, to be quite honest. The way they have her all set up and all that, and Demi Moore is in it. They've actually got a decent cast in this movie. And for those of you that don't know what boosters are those people that shoplift all kinds of stuff and then they resell. Is what they do. And you see the previews or whatever, and you think maybe it's got some potential to be funny. It is forced comedy. It's not good. It just isn't. I want to say a few of the people beside ourselves there, I saw them walk out of the theater. We walked out like 3/4 of the way. My wife looked at me like halfway. She goes, "What do you think?" I go, "This is horrible." I go, "You want to leave?" I go, "Yeah, we're about to." And we just saw 3/4 of the movie. Just not a good movie, bro. Not a good movie. So if you see I Love Boosters out there, it's not even worth watching when it goes to platforms. Okay? If you see it and you see the cast, and obviously boosting and everything because it's a thing. I understand all of that, but it's just not well written. It's trying to make fun of fashion like shows and fashionistas and all that, but it's just not good, man. Not good. It was a paycheck for all of them. And bless them, they got the paycheck. But for you, don't pay for that. In fact, I would tell you, don't even wait for it on platform. I love boosters. I hated boosters, is what I can tell you. And you'll hate it too. Have you checked out the new Angina the Poultry Craze? I don't know what that is. Angina the Poultry Craze. Have no idea what that is, Brian. They go, Stuart Copeland is an awesome underrated drummer, and 3 underrated guitarists are Tom Morell of Rage, Audio Slave, John Mayer, and Mike McCready. Yeah, I have no problem. All 3 are exceptional guitarists. I agree. Yes, we're doing movie segments reviews. Let's go. We can have Diana Rossini as a reporter have segments for movies. I will. when there's movies out there about affairs, we'll bring Rossini in to review those because she knows very well about those and she can really comment on it, the quality, the realism of it, those kind of things. So we'll do that. We'll reach out to Diana. That poor woman just ruined her entire career, dude. Maybe Playboy will hire her to cover sports, right? Write sports articles. You know, that would be whoever took over for Hef over there at Playboy. I've got an ideas for you. You want an NFL insider? You start with a centerfold spread, and then she starts with the articles. That's it, because, you know, we all go to Playboy for the articles. I know I do. I don't know about you guys out there. You know, you horny bastards are just going for the picks, but guys like me want to see, you know, what is Diana Rossini writing about? There you go. I think it's important that we do that. Gen Z, what is wrong with you? It's a question I have for Gen Zers out there. What is wrong with you? According to some studies, Gen Z prefers watching messy matches over having sex. You people not having sex the right way? You ever heard of record? You know, when she's horny, you can't put that on the DVR, bitch. The game can be put on the DVR. I remember one day I had a guy on X was ripping me because I was going to a concert the night of the Notre Dame game. He goes to me, "What kind of a fan are you? You're going to a concert." I go, "Bro, the concert, the game can be recorded. The concert can't. I get to see both, moron. I get to see the concert, and when I get home, I'll watch the game against Notre Dame." It's the Mark Richt game, the one in the Hard Rock Stadium, which, you know, to this point is probably one of the better games for UM in their short history in that stadium. But I get it. But I still watched the whole thing when I got home, and I saw the concert cannot be put on a DVR. You got to be there. The sex can't be put on a DVR. Gen Z, I mean, this just shows what kind of a loser generation that is. You'd rather watch a Messi or any soccer match or any football game or a Dolphins game or a Heat game or whatever instead of sex? You're married to the wrong person? You're hanging out with the wrong person? What is wrong with you? I mean, when we talk about losers, some of you Gen Zs, man, you guys are losers. You'd rather watch a messy match. Oh, no, honey. She's there in lingerie. She's naked. She's hot. She's getting all over you. No. Messy's on. Losers. Enormous losers. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Reach out to our guy, Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery. Knicks last night, they took a 2-0 lead in their best of 7 series in the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat the Cavs 109-93 Josh Hart led the way with 26 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Jalen Brunson, 19 points and 14 assists. Pretty good. Game 3 will be on Saturday. Cavs favored by 2.5. Over and unders 213.5. Knicks plus 110. Cavs minus 130. Take the Knicks and the points. That's what I would do. Wait for live, but initially, taking the Knicks. Would not be surprised if there's a sweep here. Tonight, it is Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. They've split the series so far, a game apiece. And the Spurs are favored by 2.5 points. Over and unders 217.5. Thunder plus 110. Spurs minus 130 at home. Sunday at 7 at New Stadium. Inter Miami will host Philadelphia. Inter is favored on the money line, minus 250. Philly plus 575. And in really sad news, Kyle Busch, NASCAR driver and star, passes away at the age of 41. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right, on a side note, the Dolphins signed running back Carlos Washington. Remember Le'Veon Moss, the undrafted rookie free agent, ended up retiring. So they ended up needing a roster spot for another running back, and Carlos was available. He was released, I think, by the Falcons. I think it was something like that. Divorce attorney sponsor for Diana Rossini after movie segment. I like that. This generation sucks, big. I mean, come on, bro. If you'd rather watch your sporting event over having sex, you either suck at sex, your partner sucks at sex, it's a bad situation or something, I don't know what it is, you don't care about that person, or you're just a loser. But I'm not turning down sex for anything, bro. Sex is a priority. Sex over everything. Period. End of story. Food is secondary to sex. Bills are secondary to sex. All the dudes who read Playboy want to get insider. You know, when you throw out facts, that's just something I can't fight. You can't fight facts. That's all I'm saying. Some try to fight facts. I don't. Facts are facts. Those are facts right there. Let's do it. Let's start a little music. Why don't we start with some birthdays? All right. Let's start off with musicians born on this date of May 22nd. Here we go. Russell Pritchard, born in 1979. He's the bassist for a band that I have no idea who they are, the Zootons. Pat in Nashville will know who they are. Dan Roberts, born in 67, from the Canadian rock band Crash Test Dummies. I do know them. Johnny Gill, the amazing Johnny Gill. That's right, with New Edition, born in 66. Of course, he also went solo. I didn't know Johnny Gill was my age. 60 today. Wow. Jesse Valenzuela from the Gin Blossoms. Born on this date in 62, the lead singer for the Gin Blossoms. Morrissey, lead singer of the Smiths, and of course, solo, born in 1959. Eva Davis, singer-songwriter from the Australian rock band Icehouse, born in 1955. Jeremy Dammers, founding member and keyboard player with the Specials, Ghost Town, born in 54. I got to tell you something. When it comes to the Specials and the three guys that left to become the Fun Boy 3, I got to say overall, because when they were with the Specials, obviously they hit it big. But for you English people out there, because I can't talk to Americans about this because they have no idea who Fun Boy 3 is. In fact, they probably think what I thought back in the day when I'm watching MTV and I'm looking at, and it's Bananarama featuring Fun Boy 3. No, it was actually Fun Boy 3 featuring Bananarama. And I've always wanted to say this. The greatest accomplishment of Fun Boy 3 was that they discovered Bananarama because their music sucked. Just saying. I've seen enough Fun Boy 3 music. The best stuff that they came up with was the stuff that they included Bananarama with. But I got to give Fun Boy 3, and I forgot the white dude's name with the funky hair. He's a good dude. But that band was mediocre. But he did discover Bananarama. So got to give him a lot of the Specials led to Fun Boy 3, which then led to Bananarama. Strong. Bernie Taupin, lyricist, poet, singer, Elton John's longtime co-writing partner. He also wrote songs for Rod Stewart, Cher, The Motels, John Waite, Starship, and Alice Cooper. The guy is half decent, Bernie. Half decent, just half decent. By the way, born in 1950. Stud. What else do we have? Calvin Simon, singer, former member of the band Parliament and Funkadelic, born in 42. Jackie Landry Jackson from the Chantels, born in 41. And that is it for musicians. Now we move over to other famous people born on this date. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means, unfortunately, they have passed away. All right, let's start off with Richard Wagner, the musician, born in 1813. Baseball Hall of Fame member Al Simmons, born in 1902. Actor Laurence Olivier, born in 1907. Entrepreneur T-Bone Pickens Jr., born in 1928. Musician Peter Nero, born in 34. Actor Richard Benjamin, born in 38. He's still with us. He's 88 today. Journalist Bernard Shaw, badass, rest in peace, born in 40. The Unabomber Theodore Kaczynski, born in 42. They always include these twisted people, man. Northern Irish political activist and Nobel Peace Prize winner Betty Williams, born in 43. Actor Michael Kelly, born in 69. He's 57. Model Naomi Campbell, born in 70. She's 56. Actress Maggie Q, born in 79. She's 47. Hall of Fame speed skater Apollo Anton Ono, born in 82. He's 44. Tennis player Novak Djokovic, born in 87. He's 39. Actress Peyton Elizabeth Lee, born in 2004. She's 22. Those are birthdays in music and entertainment for May 22nd. Now we move over to what happened today in music history, because I know you're all wondering what happened today. Well, in 65 on this date, She's Got a Ticket to Ride by the Beatles went to number 1 on the U.S. singles charts. In 76, Wings started a 5-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with Silly Love Songs, McCartney's 5th U.S. number 1 since leaving the Beatles. In 80, Diana Ross released her 11th studio album, Diana, and it features Upside Down, You're Turning Me, and I'm coming out, and My Old Piano. In 89, the rap group Public Enemy fired one of its members, Professor Griff, after he made anti-Semitic remarks in the Washington Post. In 93, Ace of Base started a three-week run at number one on the UK singles charts with All That She Wants Is Another Baby. Yeah. Number 2 in the US. In 2009, White Stripes drummer Meg White married Jackson Smith at ex-husband and bandmate Jack White's Nashville home. Jack and Meg White were married for 4 years and divorced in 2000. In 2017, a bombing during an Ariana Grande concert at Manchester Arena in Manchester, England, killed 22 people. And let me see if there's any birthdays that weren't on the list that I read before. No. And that's what happened today in Musica history. There we go. All right. Don't forget, folks, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, and we always appreciate it. Anytime, anywhere you want to make a donation, we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all out there. Oh, man. All right. What else do we have? Mario bringing his recruiting class to number 4 in the country. I normally don't brag about recruiting because it's not something that I hang my hat on, because I know that they're so flaky and you end up losing a lot of these guys because they don't like their situation. They don't like their playing time. You're not responding to them enough. You're not babying them enough, whatever it is. And you know how Mario is. They all should know by the time they get here and they sign, you get what you earn. It's not about anything being given to you. I wish I could use a Brian Forte reference, but I can only use that with certain people. Anyway, it's just impressive what he's doing, and doing it the right way and going after good human beings in the process. I hope it stays that way. I think it will. I mean, you're going to have some trip ups because there's no way you're going to recruit 90 kids and all 90 are going to behave. They're kids, dude. You know what I mean? It's just hard. It really is. But the fact that over the last 20 years, you weren't in these kind of conversations anymore. And that's the reason why the program fell behind. You weren't spending money in your coaching. You weren't really spending money in the facilities. And now NIL came into play. You had to step up as an administration, and you have. Now you've provided the resources, and now you have the maniac that knows how to implement those resources and maximize them, because he is a relentless recruiter. Very few people are like Mario Cristobal. Deion Sanders can't do what he does. He never has, never will. That's just the facts. Belichick's not going to do it either. There are guys like that all throughout college football that have to depend on others to recruit, or you got to bring the kid in to meet you in order you try to convince him. Mario's not like that. Mario's on text, on the phone, and at your doorstep. Very few guys like that. And that also gives him an in at figuring out who this kid is, who his parents are, who his guardians are, and he can assess all of that in the process. That, okay, yeah, no, this is definitely the kid I want. Yeah, he's built the right way. Yeah, he's brought up the right way, or he sees that it's not, and he can back out of it too. But impressive what Mario's doing. Adding now, let's see, Aronson A.J. Randall, the 4-star linebacker out of Carolina, and then adding Jatori Williams, the Phoenix City, Alabama offensive lineman, who's also a 4-star. Both guys Georgia was looking at. Jatori decommitted from Alabama. For Randall, it was Georgia, Ohio State, and South Carolina. So you're out recruiting the top dogs, and you're getting the top players, and your rankings just continue to climb. And if you have a great season this year, those rankings will go through the roof, and players will want to be a part of winning, man. That's super important for players to be a part of winning, you know? That is huge. Great job by Mario, man. Let's hope he can get over the hump and win that championship and have no regular season farts. Brain farts, that is. Brian Radke, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. He just puts a little happy Friday. Thank you, my friend. Very kind of you, okay? Very nice of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can send in your questions and comments and insults. We appreciate it either way. However it is that you support our show. Thank you all out there. Cruel Summer Karate Kid. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. They had a ton of hits, Bananarama. That's where I give Fun Boy 3 credit. They discovered Bananarama. That was huge. All right, folks, we're out of here. We appreciate all of you out there for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. And be safe out there. We'll see you Monday. I think. Maybe I take a long weekend. Who knows? Maybe we come back on Tuesday. I don't know. Depends on what's going on. But have a great weekend.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big